What's up, YouTube? We're gonna look at cars and trucks today. Got some good ones. Been finding some vehicles sporadically out there. Haven't really had to do any online shopping. So pretty happy about that. A lot of good releases. We're gonna take a look at the new Dodge trucks from M2. But let's look at some other things. Got some vintage store finds, and we got some green light. Got majorette. So let's take a look. First off, I found this car. I'm trying to add these to the series. I really feel these are good. Look at this thing. So, another diecast manufacturer that produced a 2000 GT. This one's got the rubber tires, and what a beauty. So this is a good casting. Good size, a little oversized. Majorette's got shocks. These you'll see at the retailers. Walmart's definitely carrying these now, so definitely shipments have increased. They're coming in actually pretty regularly. So I thought that was pretty neat. All right, zoom back. Put this car way over here by the other hot rod. Okay. Let's look at another vehicle. Well, what should we do? Well, I did find this. Let's show this. So this is a green light exclusive snow chaser. A lot of the people that like the trucks get this. This has been out for multiple months, but pretty nice, clean looking vehicle. All I did was take some of the flashing off the tires. This was a kind of like a limited edition vehicle you could get through the dealer. And I had this big setup on there. This is 80 something. What is this? Yeah, it's supposed to be an 84. So in that mid-early 80s. This is all glued in. Greenlight tooled up this whole thing to put on the truck. I don't know if they'll use it ever again, this piece, because it was kind of exclusive to the Snow Chaser package. So we'll see how that plays out. This could turn out to be pretty collectible, this truck. Although they're still online, you can get them pretty cheap too. All right. Back this up. Going over there. Okay. Well, here's another vehicle that I didn't show yet. This Bronco R prototype from Greenlight. It's got some sponsorship details. This also looked kind of cool, so I got this one. It's got pretty good tires on it. Rolls nicely. Fixed top, doesn't come off. Two-door Bronco. The Greenlight also has the four-door tooled up. So yeah, pretty cool looking truck. It's got mirrors, which is kind of rare for Greenlight. So good detail. I'm sure a few people would like to get this one too. So this one's online pretty cheap as well. Even though it says hobby exclusive, you can get them. People import them. Or people stock them. All right, let's look at something else. We'll look at some Auto Worlds. Yeah, let's do some Auto World. So, got both Pontiacs I found. So I'm happy about that. This is the first time I've seen this casting back in quite a bit. It's been a few years since they've done the 69. I think these are 69s. Yeah. Firebird cars. There's some information there. This is the A, release 2. And then we got the red. So this has been out online for a few months, but it's finally hitting the shelves. Usually the shelves get pretty slow compared to what's online, especially the Auto World. So vehicles in the set. The trucks have always been gone. I've seen multiple sets out. So I'll have to probably check or get the trucks when they put the second batch, third boxes out after a while. So deep red and then brown. I like this one in particular. Looks very period. So very, very happy to have this one. I didn't do any adjustment to the axles yet. My green one that I've had for a while, that one's been adjusted. The base is a little crooked. Sometimes the bases are more to one side than the other. If we look at this profile versus this, it's close. But we can see a little bit more of the chassis under there versus this, where it's tucked in. So the only way really to correct that is to take the car apart and just kind of, there might be a little piece of flashing on the interior or the chassis or body that's holding it up one way or another. Good tires. This has probably the 400 in it. It's got a great detail right there. Tampo work. We've talked about these cars in past videos. Just letting you take a look now in detail. Good roller, of course. Here's the red one. You can see they chrome the wheels. Same wheel, but they chrome them. I have not blackwashed the wheels, so that needs adjusted. A little bit wide here. These are just things I do when I get the cars out. So we'll either push the wheels together and see how that sits, or if I feel like it might poke through the wheel, I might take them apart and then reseat them that way, which I probably will do to this car. Again, if you look at the chassis, again, a little higher on this side, you can see it poking out more there. Also, there seems to be some wear and tear on the rim. Some of the chrome is worn off. And I haven't really touched this car yet. Just taking it out. Solid red. Most of the cars recently have been two-tone, two-top, vinyl top car. They have stripes. So this is nice to see like a pretty much all one color vehicle. And this is the last year for this body style. Then it went to second gen cars, which look a little bit more sporty. These look kind of like intermediates, like a Nova or something. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're going to look at some more Auto World. So I found a couple Mitsubishi. The Starion car. So we have the Conquest. So this is just the Mitsubishi version of that. So we'll look at this real quick. Release 2 version B. There's some interesting facts about the engine on there you can read on it. Alright. All black. Everything's black on this car. And I think that they have a Conquest that's in black. I have pretty much all the Conquest cars that were out. So we get this one. This one really reminds me of the 80s. These cars were out all over growing up. You would see them. Really, really cool car. Definitely is 80s looking, but this is still when Mitsubishi kind of had a good full lineup of vehicles to show. You know, they had sports cars and family cars. They had SUVs and pickups. So pretty much a full line dealer, full line car. Now it's just a few vehicles in the States. Great car, rolls good, wheels are great. Another good one from Auto World. All right. We also got another Mitsubishi. So we got the 3000 GT with the 4-wheel drive. I have it in pearl white. I call this glacier white, but it's pearl. At least the way they sprayed it. Vehicles. And release 1. So this is just, I haven't seen the version B on the peg. So I have the teal one. Now we have the pearl white. So this car, again, looking a little bit more down on this side than the other. So it seems to be a common with some of the Auto Worlds, the way the bases lay in the chassis. Red interior, two-tone. And then we have the engine. Let's see if I can get it open. I think I've had it open. They do a great job with these cars. And then looking at the engines. Very, very nice detail. 6-cylinder turbo. And then we had the all-wheel drive system. First kind of body style, they refreshed it and they got rid of the flip headlights. So you always see that as a difference too in the update. You know, it's kind of like a reskin, same body, but they updated the look of the vehicle and carried it into the mid to late 90s. All right, one more. This is the cream, looks like doe skin. And there's a silver one, so I haven't seen that yet. I'm sure I'll see it soon. There's a silver one, but another year up. So, and this is supposed to be this is a Plymouth instead of a Dodge. So we'll look at the grill. There's our Dodge. Plymouth had them a little bit more horizontal look to it than an egg crate. This is a couple years before they went ahead and smoothed out the headlights. I think Autoworld's going to have that as well. So they'll have the headlights when they become smoothed out, kind of sealed beam. Here's our two-tone van. It's in cream and brown. It's got the brown interior. Pretty much no difference here, especially in the back. Chrysler or Dodge and Plymouth, same taillights and everything. They just use different badges. But cool stuff. I know a lot of people like these. Although they're easy to find, I thought they'd be pretty popular, at least around here. The Silverados go quick. The C10s go quick, the square bodies, and then some of the muscle cars. But, you know, the Lincolns, the Cadillacs, these things seem to be easy to find, even if you're late to the party. All right, pretty cool vehicle. 4-cylinder, and it's 6-cylinder available. Front-wheel drive. They did add all-wheel drive to that van later in its life cycle. All right, I think we got some time to look at some good old trucks. All right, so what do we got? We got Dodges galore. Let's look at this one first. It's exciting to get these, I must say. I saw 2 full sets out. I was just kind of on an off-hour chance. First one is Rescue Squad 51, which they tried to replicate from the TV show Emergency, but to have the 72 grill. Fortunately, they used their little narrow box there, so that's inaccurate. And then their half-ton dually wheels, so not very accurate there. The rest of the truck would be good, so we can use all this, take the rims off and all that, and then we can update it. But for now, this is the way it comes. It's cool looking, but not accurate. So it needs a little help. There's the box it comes in. Pretty cool stuff. Rolls good. I must get good with that. So it needs an adjustment, but that's not the end of the world. So we'll just have to hold on to this truck till I gather parts for it to switch it. So we're gonna get some rims. We're gonna do that. Here's a lifted OBS that I found. This has been a popular one. They've always seemed to disappear on the trucks. So this is one of 8750. It has a rack, but I don't like the rack, so I took the rack off. But here she is. Nice two-tone blue. This one has the full bench seat interior, which I thought was cool. So they're doing 2 different interiors. They got bucket seat one as well with a console, and they have the more standard bench. So I like that. Good interiors, getting the beds raised a little high. Not as bad as Dodge and the square body Chevys. This one has a stock motor. They did a good job on replicating that engine with that air cleaner. I think that looks really good. So, popular casting. You know, this is already becoming a hard to find vehicle, so I'm glad to have it with my other ones. This is my first lifted. The other note I have to say is this is a custom lift. By the time these trucks came out in '88, their four-wheel drive was, at least on the half-ton trucks, was still IFS. So they had independent suspension. This one has solid axle. This ended on the half-tons in 87 with the end of the square body. On the half-tons, that one extended itself into the 90s in the 3/4 and 1-ton trucks. But so this one really should have had not independent front suspension, but they just kind of used the same design, and then the base changes to fit the bodies. But this, you know, is the same as any of the four-wheel drive trucks that they make today. So it's the same thing. They just use it under here, which is fine. There's people who've done solid axle front end swaps on these trucks because of the strength. And so we'll just think of it as a truck that's been customized, but it's definitely not stock. That's not how that goes. Here's a very, very popular vehicle, the Little Red Express. I found this one. I didn't get all of them. There was a Snow Chaser or Snow Fitter, Dodge with the plow, which is kind of cool, but I just dig it. You know, you can go out of there. It's been a lot, buddy. So I was trying to relax, but I did just a little bit of work to this one, not much. I swapped the tires to Greenlight tires. That had a little bit of better sidewall tampoing on them, so the BF Goodrich looks kind of cool. The chrome slots. So this truck did come with chrome slots, and I added some spacers so you could see my tubes that I added because the offset was wrong. But the rest of the truck's exceptional. Black interior, pretty typical for the Little Red Express. They also had a Midnight Express in black. 360 engine. Although I think in the early, like 77, you can do the 440 in this truck, so that kind of made it kind of hot. Great grill detail on these. The hoods really don't open too well. A little stiff, but there's our Chrysler motor, so it looks kind of cool. Huge fender skirts in there, not very accurate that way. But the grill is very good. I added a slight tiny bit of black wash to it just to bring out some of the detail. And besides that, this is the way it comes. So the stacks are pretty accurate. The bed rails, I did lose one of the taillights. I'll have to fabricate one. But what a cool truck. I got it to roll pretty good. Of course, the Greenlight tires make it go up and down a little bit, but looking cool. And then it made me go into the Hot Wheels archive and find this one. I just was curious to see the difference between the two. This is an older casting from Hot Wheels. You can see it's a little undersized to fit in the package, but in the red, the color is a little bit off, but not a bad attempt. Now, they don't have the stake bed, which came on the vehicle, but they certainly kind of went out in the wood grain department because it did have wood grain. So maybe M2 could have done that, but other than that, pretty cool, pretty neat. And this will probably become a big collectible. I should have bought a second one, but it's all right. You know, someone's willing to buy this when I'm gone. That's customized. They're probably a pretty good collector. All right, backing it up. Now, the one that really caught my eye was the one I really wanted. Now, this is just one of those things. I love the 70s. 1977 to 81, this was available, or 1980. Something like that. 80-81 on the W150 chassis. This is the Macho Power Wagon. There was a Power Wagon, but this is the Macho version. Simon & Simon have an 8-foot bed, one of these trucks, going through. What a cool thing to have. Great box art. Now this one, I did a little bit of work to it. I took the white walls and reversed them because they were crooked. And then I added some black wash to the grill and the wheels to bring out some of the detail. And I think she's sitting good. And I've seen pictures of this truck online. Mine unfortunately has an error in the tampo work on the passenger side where this is not level. So actually the cab and chassis are pretty straight together. But this is throwing the eye off because it's coming up. I've seen people without that blemish. I'd like to find another one, but it might be too difficult. 9,600 units, excluding chase, so pretty cool. This side's not bad, so you can see how black wash really helps those wheels. Great, awesome truck. Really cool. Came with the roll bar, the paint, and the heavy-duty suspension. They did a great job on this. It rolls awesome. And you can see the same type of suspension setup as the OBS. They just changed the plate there. Got the duals out the back of metal, so I really like that. And I redid the axles, so it spun nicer. But yeah, separate taillight. They do the separate lensed headlight, so it's got some great detail to it. They also had this one with the stacked quad headlights too, but this is the single one. I think that looks a little bit better. Let's see if we can get the hood open. Tampa works awesome. The separate bumpers really help. That's what I do like about Greenlight sometimes and M2 is that they're having separate headlights in the right context does help. Cool truck, man. Really, really cool. So I'm thinking big blocks, but also small block or 360s on those trucks. I think the 440 could get on it. I don't have my Dodge catalog to look through it right now, but I'm sure people are really gonna like that, having that in their collection. I know I am. Let's look at some vintage cars for the last part. And so first we're gonna look at these that I found at the diecast show. It's a diecast show here, Central Indiana, every quarter, and always some great sellers. He had these wrapped in bubble wrap. They didn't have the packaging, but I've been wanting these for my flatbed gooseneck setup. So, and these are the two I really wanted anyway. They make a Ford and a John Deere, but they also make the case and the International. And he had these two, and they're going for about $40 to $50 now. You know, these are from the 80s. And these are in pristine, you know, unplayed with condition. They were just a little dusty. I cleaned them up, and they're really cool. I never actually bought one. I used to see these all the time when I was a little guy, but I never bought them because they're not completely, they don't operate all the way. They do pretty good. They're a little bit better as static model. But if we had our gooseneck set up, now we can tow them around with my square body. So I think that's a cool setup. Probably have to make it look more like this. These up. I didn't research these trucks so much yet. Put a bucket down. There we go. That looks a little bit more legit. So International, and they also made a 1/16 scale of one of these. Ertl did, and also this one. So I would like to find one of those eventually to go with my 1/16 scale low boy that I have from Ertl. This truck has been a favorite of mine since I've made it, so hopefully I can find more of them. It's been one of my really, really favorite trucks. So of course we got our green one as well that I made. So these are just awesome to have in the collection. But it does tow nicely, and so that's pretty cool. But anyway, let's get back to these. They kind of work pretty well. They have a limited movement in the buckets, although everything, you can see how many joints there is. For instance, this one I had to put some grease on the cylinders because they were corroded. They had the surface corrosion starting. So got it to work a little bit, but you got to be careful because it's on a compound joint. It's pulling on this pin here, you can see. So I got to be really careful with it. So I'm probably just going to leave it up in the position here. Now these up cylinders, they work pretty good. It's great seeing the factory colors on this truck. Excuse my speaking voice today. What a horse. Getting over a little congestion. So, weather's finally turned cold. So this does pretty well. It doesn't fold all the way collapsed like it should. Kind of goes like that, and that's the end of it. So it's a little bit more like a display piece like that. And then our outriggers can come down. Now what's cool about the International, you can see like just pristine on the bottom. They don't even have any scrapes on the buckets. So pretty much virgin trucks. And they roll pretty good. So I'm really happy to have the Backhoes. This one's cool because we can have the reversing seat. So we see the driver's seat can reverse back to the controls. So look at that real quick. So I thought that was kind of fun. And then you got the outriggers, which actually, unlike the case, they don't. Oh no, this one's the one that goes up all the way. The case one doesn't. They stop. Just some famous Backhoes. These cylinders were in better condition, so this one has a lot better operation. So I do like the Internationals. It's my kind of vehicle. Although the case is good, the Ford's kind of cool looking. John Deere probably be last. But there we go. And one more vintage find from the show. Let's park these over here. Put this over here. Like this. So another collection of my Hot Wheels 100% die cast from the day. Got a great deal on this. I always wanted to crate in the Mantaray, so we got it. And it talks about Dean Jefferies and Bob Tindle. Jefferies got a really cool, I kind of read up on that car, so I'll talk about it a little bit. Here's our information here. Again, these are still bargain die cast. You can get these relatively inexpensive compared to what new cars of the same quality. Now this one I'm glad I was able to see. I try to buy these in person, meaning not online. So you just have to be patient. People sell them all the time. You also see them in antique stores a lot. But they do take a hit on taking them out because of the rubber bands that really destroy the car. So you got to be kind of careful. Sometimes you got to pass them up if you don't want to leave it in the box. So we got the orange crate and the Mantaray. Mantaray was built on a Maserati chassis components, but he made his own tubular birdcage frame. You know, kind of like the ones. It's a pre-World War II Maserati Grand Prix vehicle, and it kept a lot of suspension and the braking components. Dean Jefferies at the time in the early 60s actually worked for Carroll Shelby, and he kind of did fabrication and stuff. And Carroll gave him a small block Ford Cobra engine, which resides in the vehicle now. It's got Hilborn stack injection, I believe. But yeah, it's a small block Ford with Maserati chassis components. He also made this whole car out of sheet aluminum, hand formed. It was not fiberglass, so that's even better. You know, very, very technical car. It's asymmetrical, as you can see. Driver's set off to the right hand side of the vehicle more, and then our bubble top will open slightly. You can see right here. He hand formed the steering wheel as well. Still got a little bit of goo right there. Let's take that out. There we go. And you can see the Ford Cobra engine in there. The valve covers. So Hot Wheels does a fantastic job. It's got the Indy style knockoff wheels. And then we got our big finned drum brakes in the front. And the car rolls spectacularly. It did take the title, Oakland Roadster Show 1964 is his 1963 product. He started working at Carroll Shelby early 60s. So just had a lot of talent, young guy. And then this one is Beautiful vehicle, Bob Tindle's orange crate. Now this car had been a custom previous, but then they bought it and did more work to the car to bring it up to this one. This one's early 60s, so 1961-62. Still see some of that residue in there. Entrant, and it also won its category. This one's pretty fantastic in that it has the full body detail, and it opens like the real car does. So this is a 417. It was a punched out Olds block. Hillborn fuel injection with a front mounted supercharger. So lots of horsepower. This was meant to do the quarter mile. It's got the original grill detail. But you can see that, unfortunately, after I took the residue off of alcohol, left some orange paint off there. So it is one in my collection. I'm glad I didn't spend a lot of money on it, but it was a crapshoot. I saw the rubber bands on there and wanted to make sure. It's really hard to do unless you take the car out, but the rest of it's perfect condition. And Hot Wheels had a really good way of making tires because their slicks and stuff are awesome detail. All that detail in this car. Even that back piece. I think that's the parachute area, or maybe just a bumper. This actually can come off. You can take a look at the chassis. So, yeah, they didn't pinch these. So you can float them into there and get it done. So there is the orange crate and the Mantaray. Another cool section of vehicles to have. Well, a little short one today, but I wanted to get something out there. Some of the new cars that came in. Pretty neat. Well, thanks for watching. More cars to come. Thanks for all the new subscriptions and comments. Till next time.